When we think of local businesses in Brookline, we think of great food, window shopping, and fun places to hang out. But we don't tend to think about the people working behind the counter and behind the scenes. We thought meeting with some of Brookline's most established local business owners would be a great excuse to get their perspective on what makes a huge part of the Brookline experience so special. So, we reached out to Lisa Rozashti, co-owner of the Brookline Booksmith, and David Leschinsky, owner of Eureka, who told us about their small business journeys through finding their niche, to weathering COVID, to road mapping the future. For a more inside look, we spoke with Meredith Mooney, Economic Director for the town of Brookline, who talked about overarching trends and new civic-driven community initiatives. Here's what they had to say.
In terms of trends that we've observed, the retail rate in Brookline has been steadily declining for the past decade or so and has stabilized over the past couple of years.
We used to have quite a few video rental stores around here. They're all gone. What's come in its place? Well, more services.
And I think that there is like a little resurgence, post-COVID, that we're getting some more creative stuff. Like we've got the beautiful Far Out New Zealand ice cream, which if you guys haven't had it, you should definitely have it. And there's the record store, and there's some funkier, more independently owned businesses.
Definitely a lot of, particularly in Coolidge Corner, artisanal bakeries. And then as a post-pandemic trend, we have also seen a couple of interior design storefronts pop up over the past couple of years. Makes sense given that people have been spending so much more time in their homes, and investing in their living spaces is a higher priority, more top of mind. During my time in Brookline, it's almost 5 years at this point, majority of restaurants that have opened have been Asian restaurants. And I think that can be attributed to general popularity of different types of Asian cuisine right now. Brookline has a large Asian population, and we're also very close to a bunch of different colleges and universities that have large international student populations. But particularly in Coolidge Corner, I think there have been these clusters of Asian restaurants that have sprung up organically, which is really exciting.
For a long time, we had a trend which was just nail salons and banks, and that was like an annihilating trend.
A big concern, particularly pre-pandemic, when you talk to the business community, when you talk to the broader community, people were concerned about or unhappy with the number of storefronts that large national, international banks took up, as well as cell phone stores. And post-pandemic, given the fact that there were a lot of bank consolidations in the industry, but then also I think the pandemic kind of hastened the transition to digital banking, online banking for a lot of people who might have still preferred to do a lot of their transactions in business. We saw the number of bank storefronts contract over the past couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes back or if that remains on a downward trajectory, or we just kind of stay at the current level. There's
a lot of discussion about what is the impact online businesses have on brick and mortar businesses? And the question now is, are people in town supporting online businesses, or are they supporting brick and mortar? Shortly after we started the business, and I would spend time with every customer that would come in, regardless of what they were buying. I'd spend about an hour with somebody, helping them figure out the right set of products to get for the younger child. And the child was having some educational challenges, and so I was suggesting, you should try this game, and then this game, and then this game, and then let me know how they work, and then come back. And we can talk about it, and I'll be able to direct you to some other things. An hour after this guy got home, he called me back to say, he found the product he was looking for on the internet for $10 less than I was charging. And he wondered if I would match that price. And I said to him, I'll do better than that. I said, I'll refund your money. You can buy it online.
But I would say, I think the hardest time that we had was a few years ago, maybe like 10, 11 years ago, when we had an economic recession that really hit hard. And we had to lay off maybe 9 or 10 people. And we had to go really, really lean on everything we were doing. We had to be really spare about the books we were buying. I think Amazon was really thriving then too, and I think there were ebooks and all that sort of stuff. So I think all of that kind of came at us at one time, and I think it was like a period of self-doubt and fear that we went through, and that's kind of when Marshall Smith, who was also a visionary, got us to go more into the realm of gift and open the used bookseller and do these other innovative things that helped us capture another audience, which in turn helped us to create more book lovers, because there's a lot of felicity between the two. So that's how he sort of got us through that.
Particularly post-pandemic, and with a lot of the projects that we're working on right now, what we've heard from the business community is they really want stronger partnership from the town when it comes to investing in the public realm in our commercial areas. Businesses there, our business owners, which are majority small independently owned businesses, are true professionals, experts in what they do, very passionate about their work. Once a customer steps through the threshold and into their business, they've got it. But what they really need from the town is helping to make that public realm operate efficiently in terms of parking and wayfinding, but then also having it be an interesting, beautiful, vibrant place where people want to come and spend their time and money.
What is unique about Eureka, in addition, is the collection of products that's here. It's highly curated. We carefully evaluate everything that comes in. We make sure that it is of quality that is the best available for what it is intended, and it's accessible to people, at many different budgets. So from that standpoint, you could think about the collection that we have as is unique in and of itself, which it is. We're very opinionated. We will tell you if we think a game is good or bad. If it's bad, we don't carry it. And when people ask for it, even if it's popular, we say, no, we're not carrying it because it's really not a good game. And we'll explain why. I said, but we have these others, that fill the same niche that actually may be more relevant, more fun, and certainly more long-lasting.
The small business spaces are more opportunities and gifts in a sense, because the independent small business has to be very thoughtful about what they do. They have limited resources. They have to get creative. They have to think outside the box. They have to be flexible. They have to compromise. And we did a lot of that with the various challenges that came our way. We found creative solutions, and therefore that's everything that you see here is a creative solution to a problem. That's the whole store. That's our whole history. And that's the beauty of the work that we do. Whereas a big company like Verizon, they don't have to think about it, just throw another $1 million this way or that way, and therefore you get a box without any creativity, without any real life, without any adversity or real care and humanity in the mix. And so I think it becomes a much duller space. Look at any chain store across the US, and you will see that linear, shiny, square box that is in some way lifeless.
And kind of along that theme of creating gathering spaces in our commercial areas, we're also going to be doing a conceptual planning study about the Center Street lot, which is in Coolidge Corner. People talked a lot about the fact that Coolidge Corner is our main commercial area, but we don't have any centralized gathering space. And so people kind of turn their focus to the large parking lot that's tucked just behind where a lot of the activity is in Coolidge Corner, and are curious to know if there might be other alternatives to make that a better amenity both to the broader community, but then also to help with the vibrancy and health of the commercial area.
So in addition to running Eureka, I'm also the president of the CCMA, the Coolidge Corner Merchants Association, and have been for probably 10 years. And I'm on the small business community, or the small business board that the town put together 4 or 5 years ago, to talk a little bit about some of the issues affecting businesses and think about what are the ways that we can set up a structure to promote the health and the diversity of businesses that are here in Brookline, so that in fact we can offer a valuable service to everyone. How is the community changing? I think that on one hand, the particulars of what a town square means is changing in some of the details, but on the other hand, there's still a hunger for people to be able to interact with each other in a way that allows them to make real connections. And what we're increasingly finding is living in a social media world only is isolating, and is something that's makes many people very lonely, and is not beneficial long term to any society.
Yeah, so that's the next dream, is to build up and to have the rooftop garden, which would be, you know, a beautiful actual garden in the spring and summer, where we would be able to have poetry readings, live music, because there isn't really a place for live music in Coolidge Corner. And we could invite authors to come and have talks, not necessarily just when they have a new book out, but just a place for even deeper conversation.
Probably one of the biggest things that we've done is we've expanded into services, where we are now providing entertainment at bar and bar mitzvahs, weddings, corporate events, colleges and universities in the area, as well as a lot of schools. And we do a variety of, essentially we bring puzzles and games and help them engage with each other through gameplay. So what that does is that you think about it, is it provides the scaffolding. You can learn more about somebody in an hour of gameplay than you can in 3 days of talking to them.
So we just feel like we're in such fertile ground that we always can do more. And we can do more because our customers are supporting us, and they're actually asking us to do more. They're like, we'd like to see this, and this. And so, we just are pushing out to support their interests and their passions as they support us.